2 men and a man baby.
That's a horrible show. Don't watch that. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Kieran Show. We haven't done a hobby showcase in quite some time.
This one's quite nice because it links into a previous video.
It does.
You might remember we had a backlog day.
We did.
I failed to paint any dark angels, and you
What?
started on the man baby.
Yeah, so I failed to paint anything either. So the concept of the challenge was good in principle.
No, I was like, I'm going to paint 50 Space Marines in a day.
So yeah, right. So let's just clarify now. You were being dumb. You were being a big dum-dum.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, big soft brain dum-dum. That's what you were doing.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I started on a big undead Gargant, and he's done. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So as you would have seen in that challenge video, I had the crazy idea of having a undead man baby. So the concept was a very fun one, and now he's finished. He's all done.
How many times have you broken him?
So I have only broken him once.
During the challenge.
During the challenge. Yeah, for some reason I like judo chopped gore slab off the top. I just like, get out of here. But yeah, no, he's totally finished. And oh my word.
How...
Go on.
Are you chuffed with how it turned out?
So I don't say this lightly. This is my favourite ever mini.
Wow!
Yeah. Out of everything I've ever painted, this is my favourite.
Why?
I think from...
Is it because I have this a lot in Warhammer, you see this thing in your brain.
Yep.
And you go, I want this to land on my palette. And
Yeah.
it's never happened for me.
Oh, really? Whatever?
Never happened.
Oh, mate.
Because...
Oh, that's sad.
But then I'm a pessimist. I'm never happy with what I paint.
Oh, true.
Do you know this?
Yeah, no, that is true.
Because you're the opposite. You're like, yeah!
It makes total sense.
Sunshine and rainbows and undead man-child.
An undead man, that's a horrible memoir. Sunshine, rainbows.
For your autobiography, an undead man-child.
Yeah, that's a bad time.
You're chuffed with how it came out.
For sure, yeah. I knew from start to finish what I had to do, but it was the steps I had to take that was just so long. So long. It was sat on my table, I suppose, or desk, for ages after I built it. Ages. And I mentioned that at the beginning of that video. It took me ages to find the inspiration to pick it up and paint it.
In fairness, it's because you did do a lot to it. You built it and went, bleh.
Yeah,
Here's some extra stuff on an already busy miniature.
Yeah, it was already crazy busy, and to be honest, like I made it 10 times worse for myself as far as like a workload is concerned. But I think there was something really special in knowing that I was doing something only I had, which is like the narcissist in me was like, haha, nobody else can have this. But also, it was so overly complicated. I knew that as soon as it was done, it was going to look mint.
Yeah, and it is wicked.
There's lots going on. I think there are some really difficult aspects that I was incredibly nervous about.
So that's an interesting question. What was the hardest thing about the miniature? Aside from having to constantly fix gore slab,
Gravekeeper on the top,
shovel chopper.
Shovel chopper. I think it's probably two. One of them was the build stage, and it was the swinging heads as his like arm.
Yeah, that's very side heavy.
Yeah, and it was my initial idea was to have chains like almost like bolted to each of the heads, like from the outside, so it would almost be like a centre line chain through the middle, and then at least 3 coming out of it. But that didn't happen because actually that's very difficult to do. So what it ended up being was plug in a big old thing of green stuff on the end of his arm, stick in a brass rod through the centre, and then just wrap in the crud out of it with glue and chains, which was honestly a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. But
it does look, when you look at the miniature, it does look like that was the hardest bit to
build,
to get to make sense, to build.
Yeah, because the ugly stages I've sort of emphasised in previous Kitbash videos was nearly the whole time. And I was like, I can't leave until this is done. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I did have to leave it drying at an angle, so I had the baby like upside down with his arms sticking out, and I was just like, I'm just going to come back in
Just
an
gonna
hour.
go home. Just gonna go home for a bit.
Yeah, I was like, I hope this
Run
is
away.
fine in a minute. But yeah, no, really, really lush. And the other thing that I really struggled with actually was the idea of around having the jaw hanging off and like loads of like open old flesh wounds and stuff was there from the start. So it was like scraping out the model and just trying to make sure that those sort of like cavities were there so that I could do the Uhu glue step, and it was awful. It was awful.
Scraping out miniature.
Yeah, it was. I was just like scraping. Like first, it was like doing a hole with like a drill bit and stuff, and then it was like attacking it with clippers. Then it was attacking it with a knife. Then it was like at the end of a drill, and it was a mess. And I felt like I was like, well, I suppose it will look like a wound eventually.
I've got a wound in my hand.
Yeah,
now.
I'm bleeding. I've done my blood pack for this model.
The jaw looks like it was a really long, ugly step because the angle it's come off at. Obviously, there's got to be plenty of red in there. There's got to be plenty of texture to make it look
like
real. So that must have been like why does this just look like I've bent the mouth off?
Yeah, well, that's actually what I had to do. It was like so I had to cut the mouth off. So eventually, he was just like that. Have you seen the plastic dinosaur meme where it's like Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Yeah,
and it's just like half of its mouth. It's like that. I was just like, oh, this is bad.
It could have gone South Park Canadian people.
Oh yeah,
way.
for sure. Yeah, Terrence and Phillip.
Yeah, it could have gone full Terrence and Phillip
Yeah.
when you're cutting jaws like that.
Help me, but I'm done now, baby. But yeah, no, I think in the end it really sort of came up clutch, and the thing I wanted to try and do with this is just one, I suppose, obviously like something a little bit different, but really try and set like a scene, I suppose, without sounding like a total nose. Like, so buying Age of Sigmar terrain for a model seems so stupid. But
look, Mum, I bought a wall.
Yeah, look, Mum, I did like so many other things. So I suppose just sort of like running around through this backdrop, having a zombie come out of the floor. There was a lot, and I knew that Gorslav Gravekeeper as a model and his sort of, I suppose, story, sort of like the zombie overlord, like raising things from the dead. Just him riding atop a giant undead Gargant, who is carrying like the trophies of other Gargants as a weapon. I was like, this is metal as hell. So yeah,
I think you could have painted a Slipknot t-shirt on him or something. He'd fit right in.
Oh yeah, just like pentagrams all over his body as tattoos. But
to sum it up, are you going to do another one?
I don't think so.
That's a yes.
I don't think think so. I think if I was to do another one, it would have to be an undead Gargant army then, and I don't think
you've got that in your life.
No, I don't think I've got that in me. This took such a long time, and it's great as a one-off. And knowing that, I suppose, like as far as like a playing tangent is concerned, you can take a Gargant as a mercenary for a Soulblight army, so you can use it. So I was like, fine. But I think from concept to final piece, I guess, like I'm dead chuffed with it. Dead chuffed.
No, it is really cool.
Yeah. There was a lot of steps. It took a very long time.
Could you imagine if we had tried to record that build as a video? It'd been like 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was brutal, to be honest. It did take me a large portion of the day, but again, it was the building. It wasn't the problem because it's sort of like a combination of a lot of the kits. The Mega Gargant box is phenomenal for options. Yeah, but you're left with a lot of bits. There's a lot left over, which is savage, but. Yeah, no, it's been
is your wife finally happy that you painted your birthday present?
yes, she is. She was like, oh my god, this looks mega. Gargant. But yeah, she really liked it. Jokes.
It's that laugh track here. On this episode of 2.5 Men.
Yeah, this is so lame. Yeah, no, she's elated. I'm elated. I think just knowing that it came from like a gift and managed to turn it into like the favourite model I've ever painted. I think
that's very cool.
Yeah, it's lush. It's really nice and like super wholesome too. So win-win, wins all round.
Speaking of presents, Magoo and Wen.
Magoo and Wen indeed. Magoo and Ra is, or Morgan Ra to any normal people, is probably coming to a Hero Hammer near you, but it depends on the spin. I want to have a lot of fun with it, but if I do draw Eldari, I can't think of a better hero than Magooin.
Yeah,
great time indeed. But yeah, it's been a wild ride and a very, very quick little midweek video. But yeah, thank you so much for watching.
Kind of like a hobby update, I guess.
It is. Well, it was also like a nice update following the last challenge we had as well.
We do finish them afterwards.
We do finish models all the time.
I remember someone was like on one of the Combat Patrol game videos. They were like, "Have you finished the miniatures?" I was like, "Yes."
It's on the table.
Literally on the table. It took me another at least 18 hours of paint time for the orcs specifically to get them done. Yes, I finished them.
I finish minis all the time.
Just don't do it in the allotted time.
Yeah, no, brutal. But yeah, no, if you'd like a Mega Gargant yourself, then please go and buy one from our affiliate links down below. And yeah, tell them that the Kieran sent you. I don't know if you could put that in the notes, but it'd be really funny if you did. And then,
if you want to be a cool Kieran, you can come and join the names that are scrolling up the screen on Patreon.
The list of Kierans that have joined the 2 Kierans making this.
Join us on the YouTubes or the Patreons.
Be a member. Be a patron. Be a Kieran. That should be the tagline.
I want to be a Kieran. I am one.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, only the best people on the planet have the name Kieran.
They do. Are there any other Kierans that you know of? No. Besides us?
No.
Well, then we're good. We've nailed it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Give us a like, give us a sub, give us a comment, and let us know what you think.